domestic helpers. And 2026 may be the year. I'm Kim Commando for Simply Safe. Black Friday's coming. Save 60% on a new system at simplysafekim.com. There's no safe like Simply Safe. We first saw domestic robots in the 1962 cartoon, The Jetsons. A more realistic one appeared when Robin Williams played a warm-hearted family robot in Bicentennial Man. While Elon Musk has been working on his robots, a company called 1X has introduced its domestic robot called Neo. Videos show it taking out the trash and other basic household jobs. He's 5'6" and costs $20,000. It's on sale now, but Neo only has 4 hours of battery life. And before buying, I suggest watching the Will Smith movie, I, Robot. Maybe you don't want one at any price. Today, you must be tech ahead. Be sure to get my free newsletter at getkim.com. If you've ever worried about the safety of your home, you need to hear this. Simply Safe is giving my listeners early access to their Black Friday sale. Simply Safe is the only security you should trust to keep your home safe. Typical security systems don't prevent someone from entering your home. They just react once someone is already inside. Real security stops a crime before it even starts. That's why over 4 million Americans trust Simply Safe. Simply Safe takes action before a criminal gets into your home. The moment someone steps onto your property, AI security cameras identify the threat and alert Simply Safe's live agents. These agents take action immediately, confronting the criminal, and if they need to, trigger sirens and dispatch the police. Simply Safe is like having your own personal security guard. And right now, you can take 60% off any new system with early access to Simply Safe's Black Friday sale at simplysafekim.com. That's simplysafekim.com for 60% off. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome. It is Talkback here on this Thursday morning. I'm Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. So glad that you all could be with us here today, and we're looking forward to a great show coming up in the 8 o'clock hour. Ralph Hennessy will be here. He's the executive director of England Air Park, and we'll find out what's going on at the air park. The big news from last week was that Houston, we have a flight as the air park will be connecting once again. The Alexandria Airport will be connecting once again with the city of Houston. So we can talk more about that as well as other things that are happening. In the meantime, 318-442-8255 is our phone number, and we'll talk with you until 8 o'clock. Stephen Maxwell is on the other side, shaking your head. What's going on?
Oh, just fighting with technology. We're good. So, we do have a quick update on the Highway 71 crash this morning near LSUA. A young man was trying to cross over the highway, got hit by oncoming traffic, serious injuries, flown to Shreveport. So that kind of blocked traffic there early this morning.
Okay. Wow.
Obviously, the big issue is his health and safety. We're hoping the best for him.
Yeah. Seems like we do hear from time to time. It seems to happen a lot on MacArthur Drive, where people trying to cross over very busy areas ended up unfortunately getting struck by a vehicle. So yeah, hopefully that will all go well.
Very foggy morning in parts of the area too.
Oh, is it?
So I wonder if you don't want to speculate, but it has been very foggy across the area.
Yeah, have not had or did not have much fog driving in from the north, so that was good. So
well, let me say this. I didn't see fog either, but there was a fog advisory put out.
Okay.
Yes. But that was a little update for you this morning. Of course, if we hear something else, we'll let you know.
All right. Sounds good. All right. Other things that are happening today. Well, tell us a little bit more about what you had to cover yesterday.
I went to the zoo, got a sneak peek at the baby jaguar. I knew it was going to be cute, and it was. Very cute jaguar. He was annoying his mom, so I guess that's the thing that just happens in all of the animal kingdom. So,
including humans?
Humans, jaguars, but they have the big reveal of the name and gender tonight with the mayor, Jacques Roy. They're going to have an event And then tomorrow, FOTAS members, meaning if you're a member of the zoo, you get to go get a sneak peek of the baby jaguar.
Aw.
And then Saturday, it'll be open to the public. They're going to have music and all sorts of stuff, food. It's going to be a lot of fun. And the jaguar is kind of the Alexandria Zoo thing. It's like their logo. They're the king of their jungle. And so they're very excited about it. And in the niche zoo world, this is an extraordinarily huge deal. They said that it creates a new line of jaguars, and it helps the population thrive when it's been dwindling. So it was a big deal for them. That's a big deal.
Yeah. I remember probably about 20 years ago interviewing Mr. Les when he was the director of the zoo, and they just had the baby white tigers. And he brought them to the TV station, and Nick and I were playing with them on the set. It was just like, wow, wow.
Oh.
They were so cute.
Were they purring at you? Or were they yelling at you?
They were like, kind of like trying to roar, but they had little kitten roars, more or less.
The jaguar mom was hissing at me when I was with my camera. She was not happy.
Yeah.
But that's what you expect them to do. And
yeah.
Very excited.
That also happens in other animal kingdom people.
That's right.
Steven being hissed at by a female. Probably not the first time.
No, my wife probably did it to me this morning.
I'm gonna get you in trouble.
Yeah. I always am.
Steven, look at all dapper today.
Well, we have picture day.
Family picture day.
Family picture day.
Wow.
Right after daycare. When my daughter's hungry. It's going to be fun.
Hungry and cranky?
No, it's going to be good. We don't really have any, like, family pictures. Never taken it.
Huh.
Me and my wife kind of suck at doing things like that most people do. Like, we just don't, decorate. We don't go out and do, like, typical things. We're just kind of, like, super chill, bro.
Yeah, I don't remember seeing pictures of you, like, when you proposed to her, that kind of thing.
I think we have a video.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
Maybe you did. I just forgot.
And like, okay, so like her side, they're always like really into things and they big celebrations for everything. My side, we don't do it. So I'm trying to like make myself and force myself to do those kind of things. Like birthday parties. We didn't do birthday parties. This wasn't a thing. It's like, oh, hey, happy birthday.
But now, when you have a kid, you kind of do want to do things like that.
But I was excited to, like for Halloween, I was like making sure I got her like 14 costumes. So I thought each one would look good on her, and decorated the house, took her out trick-or-treating. So it changes when you have a kid for sure.
But it makes a lot of fun.
It does. It's the best.
Well, good. Well, hope that goes well today. You should have a beautiful day for it. I mean, this weather this week's been absolutely gorgeous. I would take this kind of weather year-round.
Oh, it's been really nice. Love it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I don't think that it's going to stay year-round.
No, I think we're going to have a warming trend. It looked like what Nick said up until Saturday. And then Sunday, dropping like a cold potato. It's going to be freezing.
Dropping like a rock.
That's right. I prefer cold potato.
You do. You like the cold weather.
Yeah. No, I hate it.
Oh, wait. That's right. You like the hot weather.
I like the hot weather. There's nothing... I don't mind waking up in the morning when it's like nice and hot. But when it's cold, it's like, oh.
Yeah. Not your favorite.
You like it. I'm surprised you're even wearing a long sleeve today.
No, like my perfect weather is like what it's been this week, where it's kind of cool in the morning and then it gets warm in the afternoon. I love this. I would take this. That's what I'm saying, year round. Give me this. Highs in the mid 70s, lows in the maybe around 50. Every day I would take that. Yeah. So after we get this cold front that'll be coming through, and that'll be Saturday into Sunday. Let me look at this. So, for example, Saturday we'll have a high of 83 degrees, but Sunday only a high of 67, and the low temperature Monday morning should be around freezing with only a high of 57. But then it'll be back to mid-70s by the middle of next week. So it never stays too cold for too long around here.
No, and but I do feel like, and this is just my own observation, I feel like it's getting cooler, quicker. I feel like we were almost into December. We were wondering where winter was at last year.
Is that right?
I feel like it.
Maybe.
But that was not my scientific interpretation. That was just what I've experienced.
Yeah. Well, we'll see. It's always different. I mean, it seems like here in Louisiana, the weather patterns are never quite exactly the same, except, from basically middle to the end of May until the middle of October. It's going to be dreadfully hot and humid every day.
I know.
So, which you thrive in.
I do.
What about baby jaguars? Do they like that weather?
The animals at the Alexandria Zoo have it better than us.
They have an amazing life.
They are pampered.
Yep.
That's what the zoo director was saying. Is like, people say this and that. It's like, they got better lives than us.
I know. I remember when there was a big controversy with Mike the Tiger about 15 years ago, and I pointed out, this is on the morning show, Nick and I were talking, I said, think about this. You get a luxurious living space with all the meat you can eat for free. What's so bad about that?
Can't run in the wild.
Versus having to hunt down the occasional jackal in the wild, you get your full meal every day. Choice meats.
I'm saying, I wouldn't mind a prime rib every other day.
Mike's got it good. I don't care what anyone says.
I know it.
Put me in the zoo. That was a Dr. Seuss book.
Was it?
Yeah.
I heard Dr. Seuss is possibly having a book release soon.
Is that right?
That's what I heard.
Really?
It was on like the Q93 radio, like talking points. So who knows how legit it is, but I saw it. So.
Huh. Well, then it must be true.
That's what I'm saying.
If you heard it on the radio, it must be true.
That's right.
Everything we say here is 100% true.
Accurate, true, and no one can disagree with us.
That's right. Although they do from time to time.
Sure do.
Yeah. So, as we look at today's events, today is National Nachos Day. Are you a nachos?
Nachos by mine.
You a nachos guy?
Oh, yeah. Anything Mexican food related. Sign me up, buddy.
You do like that Mexican food.
I do.
And speaking of food, you were out at Wildwood Pizza yesterday.
Yeah, Wildwood is our next Discover Sinlaw segment. If you don't know what Discover Sinlaw is, it's our social media series where we highlight places to check out, things that you may not have heard of or things you may have heard of and need to check out again. We discover them. And we went to Wildwood, did our first video, and we'll have the full video up Friday. So
what kind of pizza did you order?
They ordered it for me. I was like, just give me your prettiest looking pizzas. And they gave me Mamma Mia, which is like pesto, some sort of meat. Fantastic. And then I got the Big Bad Wolf, which is pretty much like the Mega Supreme.
Oh, okay.
But if I were to pick, which I'm glad they picked for me because they were both really good. If I were to pick, it would be the my own spin on Hawaiian. It is pepperoni and pineapple with honey.
With honey. That is your favorite pizza.
I'm trying to get a pizza place here to name it after me.
The Maxwell.
Little salty, little sweet.
that plays. That does check out.
And if you're a real boss, a real dog, you'd put some maraschino cherries on top too. Telling you, it's good.
Wow.
Telling you, it's fantastic.
Never thought of that. But
maraschino cherries, pineapple, pepperoni, a little drizzle of hot honey.
Are you sure you're not trying to make a cocktail?
And that's how you make an old-fashioned, kids.
No. That's how I met your mother.
Put some bitters on there.
All right. Well, we're going to take a break. We'll come back with your calls. And
I would put cheese curds on his. His would be like a Cece's pizza where they put like the dried macaroni on top.
Yeah.
Which is good.
That is. I kind of miss that.
I do too. Let's go get some.
We used to pound that place.
Did you?
We did. All right. More coming up.
Yeah.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Investor sentiment a little subdued this morning after Qualcomm, the biggest maker of smartphone chips, became the latest semiconductor firm to deliver an upbeat forecast that still failed to impress investors. Those shares were lower in pre-market trading. Well, shares of retailers hurt by tariff turmoil, they got a boost. This comes after the Supreme Court justices sounded a little skeptical as they heard arguments about the legality of the Trump tariffs yesterday. Snap shares surging after the company announced a $400 million partnership with Perplexity AI to incorporate its AI-powered search engine into Snapchat. And this morning, futures indicate a slightly higher open. Businesses having trouble with change, specifically pennies. Wall Street Journal reports fast food chains and other businesses heavily reliant on small cash transactions are trying to figure out what to do after President Trump ordered a halt of production of new pennies. I'm John Tucker, Bloomberg Radio.
Did you know you could be missing out on some of the coolest events in town? With the Rapides Parish Library's easy online calendar, you get instant access to workshops, painting classes, book clubs, and more, right from your phone or computer. Just click, search, sign up, and show up. Unlock a world of learning, events, fun, and online access, all with your RPL library card. Visit rpl.org and get connected today.
Clear skies in our forecast overnight with the possibility of some fog developing after midnight. Early morning lows will get down to 51 degrees. Now, once that fog burns off on Thursday, we'll see partly cloudy skies, but not until later in the day. Afternoon highs around 80. Could see a shower or two for Thursday night, and then for Friday, more sunshine. Afternoon highs 83. From the Zenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
Talk back.
To take part of the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK.
All right, we are back here on Talkback on KSYL. Al Quartermont, Stephen Maxwell, 318-442-8255, the BOM Bank Talk line. Let's go to the phones. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Good morning.
Hey, good morning, sir. How are you?
Great. How are you?
Doing well.
Monday, you guys were talking about print newspapers.
Okay.
There's 112 print newspapers in Louisiana. And the reason most people quit subscribing is the liberal slant. You couldn't find a single newspaper that would endorse a Republican. Most of the editorials were at least liberal, if not more. So that's what happened to print newspapers. And you got one major company that owns a lot of them, Gannett News.
Yeah.
They're extremely liberal. The Baton Rouge Advocate is a prime example of that. Anyway, gentlemen, not necessarily disagreeing, just giving you my point of view.
Yeah, appreciate that. Thank you so much for the call. Point of order there. The Advocate's not owned by Gannett. It's owned by John Georges. Or as Moon calls it, the Devil's Advocate. But what has happened in Alexandria especially is hallmark of a lot of communities around the country. I don't feel like whenever I picked up the Town Talk that I was reading, like, left-wing or liberal propaganda on the local news reporting. Now, parent company, you can say what you want, USA Today, blah, 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 but there were some really good reporters we had in this community, and kind of the last real iteration of the Town Talk being strong and viable, I would say, was when Randy Benson they gave him the title of news director, and they started to do a lot more stuff digitally, but he had a small but really good core of reporters, both local news and even sports. They did a good job. It wasn't as big as the staff that they had 5 or 6 years before that, but it still was pretty good. But then I remember the day they called him in and said, "Yep, you're done," and just really instantly gutted that place to where you just had kind of a handful, and then some of the younger reporters that worked there just really discouraged them on working in newspapers, so they got out, and you didn't have much left. And now I think they just have 2 reporters, which is, to me, absolutely insane.
Yeah, I mean, that might be a factor for some people, like our caller said, but the main issue is just it was an antiquated way to consume the news, and they just couldn't adapt. Nobody could adapt. I mean, the New York Times still has a hard time. So, and I think a lot of people in that business were not the digitally savvy type, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it just withered away. Why would you buy a newspaper, for the most part, if you can just get it on social media first?
Yeah.
For free.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah. What happened with newspapers was when the internet started to become a thing and people wanted to read their news online, they just started publishing it all for free. And then they realized, oh, our subscriber base is going down, and we're not replacing that revenue through advertising online. So now we better start charging for people to access that. And most people don't want to do that.
Tech just slowly has and will continue to eat away legacy type media, and they kind of let them do it. I mean, you kind of gave it to them, and now you're kind of stuck in a pinch.
Right.
And that's the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
I mean, that's kind of like TV. I'm sure there's a lot of viewers and stuff still, but it's an antiquated form. If you can get on your phone right now, why would you wait to go home and sit down and watch it?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And when I survey that age group of students right now, that's 18 to 20, 21, none of them watch TV. None of them read a newspaper. None of them listen to the radio.
And that's not unusual, at least in the history of news, right? You never watch the news when you're young, for the most part.
It's true.
But at least you grew up in a household where mom and dad had on the TV and had on the news, or where they got the newspaper every morning. And so that was kind of a part of life and something you're aware of. I would argue the current generation just isn't even remotely aware of it half the time.
Right.
So they're not going to grow up and magically start, I'm going to buy a newspaper, or I'm going to turn on this TV. They just didn't grow up with it.
Interestingly, I've seen a couple of stories that have been done about communities where you'll have like a coffee shop that starts like a local newspaper, and people will come in, buy a coffee, and they'll read the paper there.
Yeah.
It's kind of a different model, thinking outside the box, going where essentially the readers are, which in a lot of communities, young people will go to coffee shops, hang out there. I feel like people still want to know, but as you said, they have other ways to find out right now.
Oh, people love to know, but it's social media.
Right.
And I saw an interesting story. I meant to send it to you yesterday. In Houston, there's something called Grizzy's Hood News. She has like 1.2 million followers.
Grizzy's Hood News?
Yeah, it's like Love Shreveport, Bossier, and up there. Maybe like an urban cast type thing, or like what we're doing. You just cover a bunch of stuff online in their own way, right?
Yeah.
KPRC, one of the legacy Houston stations, like a legit Houston television news station, is partnering with them now.
Wow.
Yeah. So I don't know if they like bought her out or what, but she is kind of like KPRC's digital person now. And it's like the golf cart driving down the road, getting passed up by the Cadillac, and then just steals the Cadillac away and becomes the driver. It's insane. It's just a different world, you know?
Yeah. It is definitely different. And the news moves so much faster now. As soon as something happens, people know about it one way or another. And maybe don't care about the depth of it. It's just getting the information quickly.
Well, it's amazing what a news outlet or a news page can do with one person that's determined.
Yeah, that's right.
Because I think so, and you can probably attest to this, when you have a room full of journalists sometimes, it's like, who's going to go do it, and no one does it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is. And then sometimes there's things that the TV stations don't want to touch.
Yeah.
You know, not for political reasons, for maybe ethical.
I mean, I feel like I was a little ahead of my time back in the early 90s because I started my own business doing a local high school sports show, and I went on Hustle, and I covered so many games and teams in about a hour radius that no one ever had done before. And it was only something that aired on Sunday nights, but had I had the social media to go with it, man, probably would have killed it much more even than I did.
Yeah, I mean.
But it was one of those things, I was working for myself.
Yep.
And there's something about that inspires you even more.
100%. Small businesses are the backbone of America.
That's right. Okay.
You ever watched that movie with, was it Will Ferrell and Zach Galifianakis back in the day? Where it was called The Campaign?
Yeah,
They went up to every other group of people like, Asian nail salons are the backbone of America. And they go next one, farmers are the backbone of America. Polish sausage makers are the backbone of America. Oh, I love that part. That's so stupid.
I feel like that movie would be a good one to go back and watch.
I might check it out.
Yeah. Probably was ahead of its time, too.
Movies were kind of funny back then, I'd say like the mid-2000s.
Yeah.
2010. I mean, they were really bad. And
anything with Galifianakis was funny.
Yeah, he's one of my favorites. He's kind of gone now. But
I know, you don't really hear much about him these days.
Guess you get kind of tired or worn out. Hey, I don't care what anybody says. The Hangover is probably the funniest movie. I know you'll say Stripes, but The Hangover is the funniest movie probably ever made.
I saw a clip the other day of Judge Reinhold on Rich Eisen's show, and he was talking about how the Stripes, they shot it in Kentucky, I think, and it was a dry county. John Candy had no idea what that meant. So he had a bathtub full of beer at his hotel room.
Dang.
And he and Reinhold were roommates. Oh my gosh, the stories were hilarious.
Oh, but that is funny.
Yeah. Okay, more coming up.
KSYL. President Trump believes in America. He knows we can do big things. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. That's why Trump is fighting for carbon capture.
When I'm back in the White House, I will bring back a pro-American energy policy at long last. The return of American jobs and the American dream will be powered by the return of American energy.
With carbon capture, Louisiana's oil and gas economy can thrive, creating thousands of good-paying jobs and provide massive local dollars for our schools, roads, and communities.
The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before.
Trump supports carbon capture because he believes in America and in building a stronger future for Louisiana families. To join President Trump in his fight for American energy, Louisiana jobs, and carbon capture, visit MAGAenergy.la. MAGAenergy.la. Paid for by MAGA Energy Project.
Now back to Talk Back. 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL.
And we are back. Let's go to the phones. Good morning. You're on Talk Back.
Hey, good morning. Thank you for taking my call. Hey, as the fallout from the elections continues, did y'all hear the remarks made by some of the Democrats up in the East about that one of them said it was a shame that America won the Cold War against the Soviet Union, and another one said that it was hopefully this will be the start of a new Soviet Union. Did y'all hear that?
No. Wow.
Yeah, that's extreme.
Yep.
That's extreme. Now, it points to ignorance, of that generation, that they don't even know what happened then, and gullibility, that the Bernies of the world, the Bernies of the world are expert at passing off a message that has failed everyone. Thomas Sowell talks about this all the time, has failed everywhere, and yet they can put a face on it that makes it seem, attractive. Yep. And which is why we protect schools and kids, because the younger you are, the more gullible you are. That's just, that's the story of time. There's always been people deceivers out there. But to make that word, the Soviet Union, to say it was a shame that America won the war against the Cold War against the Soviet Union, and to say that hopefully we can have another story, because that's what collectivism is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. There's only two choices, individualism or collectivism. Now, I know the Democratic Socialist America want to say there's this blend where we get only the good. There is no good in collectivism. It dampens human initiative, and it kills everything that is the spark in humanity. You know, I had an old pastor who used to say, you ever go by a skateboard park? This is how old it was. It was in the 80s. And you see those kids out there, and they're learning how to ride a skateboard upside down with their hair on fire, flipping over a telephone pole. He said, why do they do that? He said, there's a drive. When God kicked Adam out of the garden, he said, be fruitful and multiply and subdue the earth. When he at creation, that there's a drive in man to do that, to subdue the earth, to conquer what he sets his mind on. And what collectivism does is it dampens all. It says, oh, no, stay home and play. Somebody else will pay for you. Somebody else owes you. And, when we have young people, which, we'll find out in the midterms how big their impact will be. I know there's some in the Democratic Party that are trying to play down their impact, but look, that was an exciting night for them. Did you listen to Mondami's acceptance speech or victory speech?
I've seen clips of it. I didn't watch the whole thing.
I mean, he opened up with a quote of that guy that ran as a communist.
Oh, he took the mask off right away.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
Yeah. Even Van Jones was critical of his speech.
Well, Van Jones is one of the few thinkers on the left that I have respect for. I don't agree with much of what he said, what he holds to be true, but he will critically look at an issue and then debate it. So many of them, they just throw platitudes. They just, or their little sayings. But yeah, I think Van Jones, he's been alarmed for a while. And he lets that be known. But anyways, I just thought that was interesting. The Soviet Union of America. So, have a great day.
I was trying to find the clip. I don't know do you know, was it like a politician or a person? I'm just curious. Oh. Okay, he's gone.
Yeah.
I couldn't find it.
You can probably text me, but. All right, something else I want to talk a little bit about this morning. So we kind of thought that things had settled down for LSU with the naming of Wade Roos as the new president. And right away that day, they also said that the interim label had been taken off Verge Osbury as athletic director. But a couple of things happened yesterday, one of which was Piper Hutchison, who is a reporter with the Illuminator. She was on a radio show. I'm not sure whose show this is, but made some comments that kind of got the ball rolling on some things again. Well, I'll let you listen to this part first.
I mean, I think somebody in kindergarten could look at the three resumes and say, this guy has the least amount of experience. Is that fair to say?
Yes. I mean, Roos did not even meet the qualifications set out by the search committee that recommended him. So that is not a new criticism.
Wow. What were some of the qualifications that he did not meet?
The search committee said that they wanted somebody with experience running an R1 institution like LSU, and said that they wanted somebody with a serious research background who had advanced through the faculty ranks. Which are assistant, associate, and full professor. Wade Roos has some experience in teaching and in research, but not the kind of background that you would traditionally find in a university president.
Yeah, and he was never a full-blown professor. He's simply a teacher. I could go to LSU and teach radio and television tomorrow. I've been asked to do that before. That doesn't make me a professor.
Okay, so first of all, here's the issue I have, and I guess that shows Kerry Johnson is how you say it, New Orleans-based show. Here's the issue too often in academia. It loves itself to the point where it cripples itself at times. Wade Roos is qualified for the job that he has been hired for, and we had Dr. Carell on yesterday, and he talked about the process and his qualifications. And I think he made a very important distinction that Wade Roos will be the president of the LSU system. And his task is to make the system one that will be working hand in hand with business to try to develop attractive majors, academic programs that will help businesses in the state and ultimately will have the jobs, fit the jobs that will keep people here in Louisiana at a time where we've seen a lot of brain drain. People go to LSU, they go to other schools in the system, and then they leave the state because the jobs aren't here. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they added Mr. Dalton to be basically the head of the campus, the chancellor of the campus, specifically because of his background in things like academic research and those sorts of things. So I think it's way, way, way too early to start getting critical about this. And if you know some of the orientations involved here politically by the people in this clip, you might understand why maybe that criticism is happening. But nonetheless, I think that's kind of silly. But what also happened yesterday was, in another interview, is that Bruce talked about Verge Osbury. I think it was the same reporter that he mentioned that he just started the job, so he removed the interim tag off of Verge Osbury, but he kind of made it seem like he's still not, quote, the permanent guy, which a lot of people are questioning because they're saying if you take off the interim, you're making him the permanent guy. So there's been some confusion, and Roos actually appeared on WWL radio yesterday and tried to clarify that a little bit in this clip.
Reports directly to me, the president. I'm getting to know Verge very well. I just removed the interim tag off of his. He's the acting AD. Been in some early conversations with him on about 48 hours on this job. Verge bleeds purple and gold. He has my full authority to go find us a coach that I think for the best coaching job in America. We're going to go find the best fit for our coaching job in America, and I couldn't be more pleased to have Verge remove the interim title off of him.
Well, okay, so I don't know. It created a big media firestorm in Baton Rouge and New Orleans yesterday. I don't know how much it really filtered up to here, but it just seems like this story just won't die.
Yeah. LSU drama.
Yeah. So it's just been a little confusing, to say the least. I just say, let it sit. It'll all work out. Hopefully they get a coach everybody's happy with. I'm sure not everyone will be happy. But going back to the point about whether Roos is qualified or not, and I think, some of the concern is that he's more from a business background than an academic background. Here's what I say. Good, because that's what academia needs to lean into much more, are the people that have practical knowledge and experience. The irony was this talk show host was saying that he's been asked to teach radio and TV, but he's not qualified because he doesn't have the letters behind his name, I guess. Bull crap, I say. That's what these kids need. They need people that know how to do the job to teach them how to do it the right way. What better place than in college? To me, this has been my own personal experience in academia. Honestly, when I had to get a master's degree so I could teach at the collegiate level, I can tell you 100%, other than learning how to do a thesis paper, there was no benefit to that. In fact, there was a time where they had gotten a new editing software system at UL, and I had to teach all the professors how to use it.
I have tons of opinions about that.
I'm sure you do.
You don't even need to go to college to be a journalist.
That's
You just
true.
need a good mentor.
Yeah.
And I completely agree. I will say this because it was in a different state. No one will know who it is. One of my previous stations, we had 2 reporters come out of college with master degrees in journalism from good schools. And they both asked me when they got there, this is not going to make sense to some people.
Yeah.
They asked me, well, what's a package? I swear to you.
It's the basic component
That's
of
like
a
a
news
doctor
story.
going to the hospital asking what a stethoscope is.
Yeah.
They did not know. And so if you just have good practical experience, I agree in that field. I mean, yeah. That's what I completely concur. Yep.
All right. Well, we need to take a break. More coming up.
Maybe.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
Style, savings, and a sale like no other. The Abigail's annual warehouse sale is back bigger and better than ever. November 13th and 14th, 9 to 5. The deal deals are unbelievable. Save up to 90% off wholesale prices. Shop new items, samples, overstocks, and discontinued pieces with new merchandise added all day long. When it's gone, it's gone. So don't wait. The Abigail's annual warehouse sale. The 13th and 14th on Industrial Street next to Lowe's.
Trying to get ho-ho home for the holidays?
Ho, ho, ho.
Do what Santa does. Book your flight through Alexandria International Airport. At AEX, holiday travel is happy, hassle-free, and handled with care. With convenient daily connections to Dallas and Atlanta, you'll be home in a hurry. Skip the stress of crowded terminals and traffic. To learn more or book your merry getaway, visit flyaex.org. That's flyaex.org.
Staples presents An Easy Holiday.
My holiday list was a mile long.
Oh, no, boo-hoo-hoo.
Staples made it easy with big savings on tech gifts.
I'm listening.
And I saved big on custom holiday cards, too. Plus, Staples has UPS shipping in-store.
Holy flying reindeer. Shop Staples today for 40% off custom cards, invites, wrapping paper, labels, stamps, and photo gifts.
That was easy.
In-store and online expires 11/15. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-1313. 800-791-1313.
A1 Pools now has a fall and wintertime pool special. Get a free Dolphin robot cleaner, a free saltwater system, 2 free sidewalk mini jets, and a $1,500 rebate. With the purchase and install of an in-ground pool from A1 Pools. Now you can't beat that. Don't miss out on this limited time sale. Save thousands only between now and December 15th, 2025. Call A1 Pools now at 318-449-2093. That's A1 Pools, 318-449-2093.
A message from Israel Air Conditioning and Heating.
Yeah, my mama, she told me to pick up and call Israel Air.
She told me Israel Air. She told me.
She said they'll come running with comfort beyond compare.
At a very fair price.
Because you know we're all about your comfort, no troubles. Call 442-6657. That's 442-6657. We're all about your comfort,
You've been listening to Talkback. The opinions expressed were those of the hosts and callers, and not necessarily those of Cenlaw Broadcasting.
AM 970, FM 104.9, KSYL, and KRRV 100.3, HD3, Alexandria.
This is CBS News on the Hour, sponsored by Progressive Insurance.
I'm Deborah Rodriguez. The FAA says it'll cancel 10% of airline flights at major airports across the country beginning tomorrow because of shutdown-related air traffic controller shortages. Union President Nick Daniels says members have no choice but to call out because they're not getting paid.
They're not calling in sick. They're calling in saying, I don't have childcare today. What do you want me to do? I can't pay for it. I can't pay for the gas and I can't pay for my utilities.
Transportation correspondent Chris Van Cleve.
The nation's busiest travel hubs are among those expected to face cuts. Atlanta, Chicago, Denver, Dallas, Los Angeles, plus all 3 New York City area airports.
President Trump is laying some of the blame for Republican losses Tuesday on the shutdown. He's once again urging GOP lawmakers to end the filibuster and reopen the government with a simple majority vote. CBS's Torian Small from Washington.
Nearly every Republican our team talked to on the Hill said that that's just not an option they're willing to consider. Senator Tom Tillis says there's no way he could see himself being moved to that. Others told us that that's just not an option that they want to put on the table, so then Democrats can use against them if they were to take over the majority.
NTSB investigators are hoping the newly recovered flight data recorders will help them pin down the cause of Tuesday's fiery UPS cargo plane crash in Louisville. The death toll is up to 12. 3 people are still missing at a scrap metal recycling company near the airport. Georgie Dow was working that day.
I could have died. It was very, very close. It was an explosion after explosion after explosion. And so you just didn't know what was going to happen.
New research shows some breast cancer patients may not need radiation.
The study in the New England Journal of Medicine followed 1,600 women for almost 10 years. They were at intermediate risk with early stage 2 breast cancer. It found radiation in the chest wall made no difference in survival rates among those who had been treated with mastectomy, lymph node surgery, and advanced anti-cancer drugs. Patients who had radiation and those who didn't both had survival rates of just over 81%. The women who were treated with radiation were at a lower risk of having their cancer return. Michael Wallace, CBS News.
A strike may be brewing at Starbucks just in time for one of the coffee chain's biggest sales days of the year, Free Red Cup Day, November 13th. CBS's Jolene Kent.
The union is asking for increased hours for employees and higher take-home pay. It says if Starbucks does not deliver a contract in the next week, the strike will start at coffee shops in 25 cities across the country, with more joining in if no progress is made.
Dow futures are up 33. This is CBS News.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Take the next step forward in your career with great benefits and an award-winning workplace. Apply at careers.progressive.com.
If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Louisiana Radio Network, I'm Jeff Palermo. As the federal government shutdown drags on, Senator John Kennedy is filing a pair of bills aimed at making lawmakers feel the same financial pain as workers who are not getting paid.
Senator John Kennedy's 2 bills are nearly identical. The difference is one calls for lawmakers to forfeit any paychecks skipped during shutdowns, while the other calls for skipped paychecks to be escrowed and paid when government reopens.
What's good for the goose is good for the gander.
Kennedy says there is precedent. During a shutdown in 2013, President Obama threatened to withhold pay from lawmakers unless they reopen the government by a certain date.
Members of Congress had an epiphany, and they found religion, and they opened up government.
I'm Andrew Greenstein.
Louisiana suspended its plan to fund the SNAP program this month. That's because the USDA has said it will issue half of the typical monthly SNAP benefits for November after they were ordered to do so by the courts. LDH says all eligible SNAP recipients will receive a portion of their benefits tomorrow, including able-bodied workers. LRN.
Ready for the ultimate game day? This football season, Southern Air and LSU Athletics want you as the Southern Air fan of the game. Each week, one lucky winner scores 4 LSU home game tickets, VIP hospitality, pregame sideline access, and the chance to cheer on the Tigers. Plus, all winners are entered to win a brand new side-by-side at season's end. Enter now at southernairnow.com or Southern Air's Facebook page. Southern Air, cooling, heating, plumbing, and generators. Learn more at southernairnow.com. Go Tigers.
Good morning. Some fog to start us out on this Thursday, but skies becoming partly cloudy later on. Not a bad day at all, but quite a bit warmer. Afternoon highs near 80 degrees tonight. Partly cloudy skies in the evening and then becoming cloudy overnight. Could see a shower after midnight, about a 20% chance of that. Then we'll start things out on Friday with cloudy skies, but partial sunshine by about noon. Afternoon highs near 83. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Gratian.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
It's Talkback, Central Louisiana's longest-running talk show. Whether it's the guests or the callers, Talkback is where Central Louisiana begins its conversation.
And welcome back, everybody. It is hour number 2 of Talkback here on your Thursday morning. I'm Al Quartermont along with Stephen Maxwell. Very pleased to be joined in the studio by the Executive Director of England Air Park and the Alexandria International Airport, Ralph Hennessy. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Good morning, gentlemen. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Well, it's been kind of an exciting week for you. Last Friday, you had the big announcement that Houston, we have a flight as United Airlines will be connecting with AEX coming up in the spring.
That's correct. United is coming back May of 26. We made the announcement Friday. It's 2 daily flights, departing AEX 5:30 in the morning and then around 6 in the evening. Return flights from Houston are at 5:20 in the evening and then 7:30.
Okay, great.
Tickets are live. The reservation system's live. You can go online to united.com or flyaex.org and book your travel.
Talk about what you feel like that means for the airport itself.
Sure. And so what that does is it brings another carrier back into the market. So we'll have 3 carriers, American, Delta, and United. This adds some competition, so hopefully we'll see those airfares start to drop just because you've got another entrant into the market. It's going to allow additional connectivity, so you've got the whole United route structure connecting through Houston to their global network. With that, they're going to start out with 250-seat aircraft, and then as the capacity is the demand requires capacity increases, they'll add some additional capacity. But what that does is it allows those people that are having to drive to Houston today for business and whatnot, they can go back to flying. It's about a 45-minute flight there. They can do business during the day and come home that night. Or if they've got to go on to a further excursion, they connect and go from there. So this is something that the community has been asking for since United left back in 2022, of course. And the reasons were all due to a pilot shortage coming out of COVID.
Right.
And with that, the demand has been there from the community. It wasn't as if they left because they were losing money. They were making money, but it was just strictly equipment and pilot shortages. So we've been working with them for about 2.5 years. We secured $1 million grant from the DOT that goes toward a revenue guarantee. And we certainly couldn't have made this happen without the Central Louisiana Community Foundation because that grant required a match of about $200,000 that we can't provide. We're prohibited by law for providing cash incentives to airlines. So the Community Foundation stepped up and they're meeting that match. We don't believe that is going to, that revenue guarantee is going to need to be tapped. And the purpose of that is really to keep the airline solvent from a financial basis during the startup phase. So it's about a 2-year period that this will be in place. But again, the ridership was there before United left the market.
Sure.
And what's funny is when you look at our catchment area, which is the area that we service, at the time, United had about 31% of the market. Since they've left, that has only grown to about 34%. So more people are driving to Houston to fly today and use United than when they were here. So we feel very confident that the revenue guarantee is not going to need to be used. SkyWest Airlines is the provider of the service, so they're taking the risk. They approached United and said, we'll be the carrier, we'll provide the equipment and the crew, flying it under your flag as a United flight. And so it's really a partnership among a number of entities to make this happen.
That's outstanding. So what are some of the spots that people connect to out of Houston that makes it attractive as opposed to, say, flying to Dallas or Atlanta?
So, United's big going down into the Caribbean and to Latin America. So the Houston hub is certainly closer. It's southwest of here. So if you're flying to the south, it shortens your commute time. But they also have, when you look at their global network hub, they've got Dulles in DC is one of their international hubs. Certainly Chicago O'Hare is a big hub. San Francisco, going to the Pacific, and then Denver also. So they've got a nice hub network around the country that if you can't get there out of Houston, you can connect through one of the other hubs. So it compared to, let's say, Delta going through Atlanta. Well, if you're wanting to go to west on Delta, you got to fly east before you go west.
Yeah.
And same thing with American. If you're going to fly east, you got to fly west, connect and go. The short flight to Houston makes it attractive to go east or west out of Houston. So that's a benefit there.
Absolutely.
I'm kind of curious about the revenue guarantee. If it's not spent, does it just go back to the community foundation?
Yes. So the money that the foundation put up, that just stays with them.
Okay, gotcha.
The $1 million from the feds, that would go back to the federal government.
Interesting. Okay.
Outstanding. Yeah. And I know I heard you speak at Rotary a couple months ago, and you indicated at the time you could be looking at a couple of other airline companies that would want to do business here.
So we are actually, today, as a matter of fact, I've got staff that's meeting with Breeze, American, Delta, and Allegiant. Certainly the American and Delta, that's just to talk about improvements to existing service. Trying to get the Charlotte flight back, trying to get some relief on airfares, some customer service issues. And then with Allegiant, what that has, that's going to be less than daily flights, but to two of the biggest cities that we have demand for, which are Las Vegas and Orlando. So that would help out there. Certainly, that would not come to fruition probably for about another 2 years because they're going through a whole fleet revamp with Boeing, changing out the fleet. And that's not going to be completed till 27, 28. And with that, they're going to have some other markets to put additional aircraft in. So they've reached out to meet with us, and so certainly we're going to continue to talk with them.
So direct flights to these vacations.
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, less than daily is what their business plan is, and so with them, they look at it more as an event or an experience. You're going to book with them, probably stay in the hotels that they have affiliations with. And oh, by the way, here's your plane ticket.
And pretty cheap usually.
Correct.
Yeah, because I remember when we were in Shreveport, they'd have seasonal direct flights to
Los Angeles,
Destin, and Orlando.
And they're going to add Nashville, and they've already got Vegas. So
really?
Yep.
Wow.
Y'all are nicer than Shreveport. So.
Oh, absolutely.
Not even close.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, I remember when Allegiant flew to Los Angeles too, because my daughter would fly out to see my mom, and that just that direct flight, very bare bones, by the way, but much cheaper, and to go direct from Shreveport was pretty amazing.
Yeah, it was.
So that's cool. Good to see, and it sounds like Alexandria is becoming a spot that these airline companies are looking at, like, hey, we can really make something out of this.
Yeah, that's we do have their attention. Global Crossing, which is a sports and government charter airline that actually is moving their maintenance base from Miami here. They're leasing a large hangar from us. They have a fleet of about 22 aircraft, and they're already providing some government flights out of AEX on a daily basis, and they also do a lot of sports, college sports, and professional sports charters.
Interesting.
And so they've been hiring some flight attendants, and they're looking at making this a small base for their operation also.
Wow. What's the name of the company?
Global Crossing.
Global Crossing. Interesting. All right. So Breeze Airlines, you mentioned them. Where do they fly to?
So Breeze, primarily along the East Coast and Midwest. They're a carrier that started up a few years ago. They're a discount carrier that flies larger RJs, but two markets that are not always a primary market. So you may go to Myrtle Beach as opposed to Columbia or something. Yeah.
Okay.
So
what is an RJ?
A regional jet.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that they fly, 100-seat RJs, 120-seat RJs, as opposed to what we have primarily in the market today, 70 and 90-seat aircraft.
Wow. Exciting things happen.
Yeah, for sure.
That's very good.
I do love Vegas. That'd be fun to go to.
That's right.
Oh. Al, you don't like Vegas?
I did. I went one time a few years ago for a news directors conference, and actually it was the opening weekend of the NCAA tournament.
Oh, there you go.
And I'm not much of a sports bettor at all, but I was like, while in Vegas, right? So I think I put money on 6 games and I won 4.
There you
I got
go.
a check in the mail a couple months later.
I'm not a gambler. I just overpriced everything. So I want to go to the Sphere.
Sure.
Have you seen that?
Yeah.
I'll get off my tangent here.
No, and that's fine. Those are all attractions that draw people to Vegas, right? And so the Sphere, if you haven't been out there and seen it, it's an incredible, just to see it from the outside, incredible facility.
Let's go see the Eagles there. How about that?
Oh, I'd love to.
All right.
That would be awesome. Because last time I went, it was before the Sphere. So
yeah, that'll work. All right, well, let's take a break. Ralph Hennessy is our guest, the Executive Director of England Airport, and we have some calls coming in. We'll take those as well when we come back here on Talkback.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics. With 18 providers and 3 locations, someone can see you today.
This is Dr. Jonathan Hunter with The Clinics. We provide primary, family, and chronic care along with gastroenterology, podiatry, with on-site lab and x-ray services. I'm pleased to welcome family physician Dr. Noah Miller to our team. We are currently accepting new patients and same-day appointments are available. If you're admitted into the hospital, our doctors will see you there as well. Most insurance and Medicare are accepted. The Clinics on North Dalton, 445-9823, and online at theclinics.us.
Attention all real estate agents, property owners, and lenders. When you or a client needs a real estate attorney, call the professionals at Thompson Law Firm. Whether the legal matter is basic or complex, the Thompson Law Firm can accurately guide you or your client to a successful outcome. That's why numerous industry professionals have trusted the Thompson Law Firm for years. They also handle estate planning, successions, and business law. Call them at 473-0052. I am a paid non-client attorney spokesperson.
Why is sugarcane so popular in Louisiana? 19,000 jobs annually, $7 million in tax dollars for roads, schools, and first responders. It's a $4 billion industry. Sugarcane, #1 in Louisiana. Learn more at lacane.org.
Tiger Rag Magazine subscribers are LSU fans in the know. Tiger Rag Magazine gives you exclusive stories, beautiful pictures, and behind-the-scenes insights. Subscribe today and be in the know at TigerRag.com.
If you'd like to take part in the show today, call the BOM Bank Talk line at 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. And remember, if you're looking to purchase or refinance your home, call Christina Bagwell at the BOM Bank Mortgage Department at 448-2430.
It's Talkback, 970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO.
All right, we are back with Ralph Hennessy, the Executive Director of England Air Park, and our number 318-442-8255 on the BOM Bank Talk Line. Let's go to a phone call. Good morning, you're on Talkback.
Yes, I have a quick question. Have you ever thought of putting 2 walls up on that top floor up there at the airport to wall off where the boarding passengers can get something to eat, and they can also use the larger restrooms? Go to a lot of places, and it seems that's where we're kind of lacking at that airport. We have small bathrooms on each end, and you can't get to the food. And I'll hang up and listen.
Okay.
Yes, we're fully aware of that. And of course, that facility was designed pre 9/11 when you could take food and drink through the checkpoint. We're actually looking at an expansion project that realistically is going to happen in a couple of years that would put some food and beverage on the secured side. So yes, we've looked at it. We're working on that, as well as expanding the gate areas. The gate areas were designed when we had 30 and 50 seat aircraft, and today we've got 70 to 90 seat aircraft. The hold rooms are narrow and really don't accommodate the size of the crowd that we have getting on the flights. And I say that in jest, talking about the crowd, but yeah, we're fully aware of that and working towards some solutions.
Sometimes it's standing room only when you're waiting to get on your flight.
Exactly.
Okay, well, that's good to hear. I mean, as you said, 9/11 changed so many things that nobody could have anticipated at the time. When the facility opened, it was state of the art and still is a real jewel, but could definitely be better.
Absolutely.
All right. Yeah. Good question. Thank you, sir, for the call. Going back to, we were talking about the charter flight company. I know when you were at Rotary, you also talked a lot about how the air park works with the ICE facility out there and how all of that has really been ramping up now under President Trump.
Yeah, so the GEO Group back in 2014 made a large investment and built a transfer facility out there, which is used to, at the time, it houses up to 400 inmates for up to 72 hours before they're transferred back to their country of origin. Since the Trump administration, the activity out there has grown some 300%. And so you have to realize there are about 8 private prisons in central Louisiana that have some sort of ICE affiliation. And so they move prisoners around the country through this facility and then eventually back to their native land. And so Global Crossing is one of the carriers that provides a lot of those flights for the federal government, as well as a handful of other charter companies.
And I know that, excuse me, that it takes a lot. I mean, you obviously have a lot of people out there working at that facility. Even medical personnel have to be out there.
So that facility employs around 200 people, of which about 72 are medical staff. They have dietitians there, so that as these people come in, if they have special dietary needs, they're provided the proper care. They're also, if they have any medicinal purposes or needs, they provide them with a 30-day supply of medicine, so that when they get back to their native land, they have some medicine to get them by until they get back on their feet.
How many flights a day from that, as a result of that facility, would you say right now?
So we have about 9 aircraft a day that are based there that start out, and they'll fly around the country picking up prisoners, bringing them back, as well as some of those flights are also scheduled to go out. So 20 to 30 operations a day, depending on the schedule.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Obviously, that's ramped up under President Trump than the last administration.
We're up 300% over the last quarter. So, yeah, quite a bit.
Man. So how does that the revenue from that? How does that benefit this area?
So for us, England Air Park, we operate off of user fees and rents. So for us, we have about a $14 million budget. We have to collect the money somewhere. And for us, each one of those flights, they provide us a landing fee. And then if they buy fuel, we get a fuel flowage fee. It's about 8 cents per gallon. On an average month, we may have about 500,000 to 600,000 gallons of fuel that the FBO Millionaire pumps into aircraft. The month of August, it was either August or September, they did 1.5 million, which is a record. Prior to that, 1.2 million gallons of fuel pumped was the prior record. And a lot of that, too, you have to realize is military traffic that comes in for these rotations. So some of that is military, some of it is government, and then some of it is just commercial.
So is the ICE facility different than the international staging base where the troops come in and out, or is it the same facility?
Nope, 2 separate facilities.
Okay.
The ISB, the International Staging Base, is really Fort Polk's mini third world country that when troops come here for their training, they'll spend about a week there and they'll plan the invasion there, and then they'll convoy over to Fort Polk, and they're there for 7 to 10 days, play the war game, and then they come back to the air park, stay in the ISB, clean up equipment, load it, out process, and go home. The Department of Defense, they lease a couple hundred acres from us to the tune of about $2 million a year for that operation. Yeah,
that's nice.
Yep.
So I guess the bottom line with all that, then you're not really relying very much on local tax dollars to fund all this.
We get 0 tax dollars.
Wow.
And a lot of that is it's just the way it was set up. When the authority was created, we are a taxing authority. We do have the authority to tax. We just have not imposed taxes, and currently we don't see the need. And really, in today's political climate, think about it, if we were to go before the local voters asking them to support a millage for something out there is probably going to be far-fetched.
Yeah. Yeah.
So again, it's all off of user fees and rent. So sometimes people will think their tax dollars are going for things out there for the operation, and that's false. The only tax dollars we do get are going to be in the form of grants for airport development, and those grants come from an aviation fuel tax anyway. So it's not as if people's income tax are going to the federal government to come back out here to us. It's a fuel tax collected in the aviation world that goes into the coffers of the FAA that is then remitted back to airports for development grants.
Gotcha. Fascinating stuff. It's really cool how England Air Park works and what this has done to the community after when they announced the England Air Force Base was shutting down. It had the potential to be such a disaster, but it's been okay, which I give a lot of credit to the vision of the local leaders for that.
It is a success story. At the time, the military had, when the Air Force left, there was between 5,000 to 7,000 civilian and military jobs out there. Today, we're only at about 2,000 jobs. So we don't have the same number of jobs, but the economic impact at the time, the Air Force had about a $100 million impact. Today, we have just under a $300 million economic impact to the area.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Yeah. That is amazing. All right, Ralph Hennessy is our guest. He is the Executive Director of England Air Park. We need to take another break, and we'll come back with more. I want to talk maybe about some of the runway project expansions and things like that right after this.
This is a Bloomberg Money Minute. Walt Disney has just signed a new multi-year deal to make DraftKings the official betting site and odds provider for its ESPN sports networks, dumping that venture it had with Penn Entertainment. Penn instead will offer betting under the ScoreBet brand. Some investors continue to bet on another interest rate cut from the Fed, but on the other hand, job cuts are a concern for some. Starbucks out with the holiday drinks, including a creme brulee latte and also some holiday merch, like an adorable stuffed Hello Kitty bear Easter. And all this coming as the Starbucks Workers Union threatens a strike in 25 cities November 13, the day Starbucks gives out all those free red cups to try to get as many people as possible into coffee shops. And trying to have a baby but having trouble conceiving, remote work could help you. New Stanford University study says not only does remote work make it easier for you to take care of kids, it also makes it easier to conceive by cutting stress and increasing proximity. Denise Pellegrini, Bloomberg Radio.
Some smiles sound like this, while others sound this way. If you'd like to improve the way your smile sounds, the folks over at Today's Dental in Pineville can deliver. Over the years, hundreds of Central Louisiana patients have visited Today's Dental and then left completely satisfied. Their dental implant procedure is amazingly simple, low anxiety, and completely affordable. Today's technology makes your beautiful smile easier than ever. The staff at Today's Dental go out of their way to make you comfortable with calming in-office IV sedation that's administered by a highly skilled certified nurse anesthetist. And their multiple finance options make the entire procedure truly affordable. Want your smile to sound better? Give Today's Dental a call at 318-448-4540. It's a general dental facility on Highway 28 East in Pineville, owned by Dr. Jonas Goche. That's 318-448-4540.
Got a big day ahead of you? Then it's best to fuel up with some of Cenla's best at Bricato's restaurant. Walk right in and just smell that home-style cooking. Place your order, take a seat, and do breakfast right till 9:30 this morning. Get fresh biscuits, eggs any way you like them, melt-in-your-mouth pancakes, grits, hash browns, sausage, bacon, even wraps and sandwiches. And don't forget their fresh brewed coffee. Bricato's Restaurant, 28 West, right across from the Coliseum. Your breakfast is waiting for you.
Clear skies in our forecast overnight with the possibility of some fog developing after midnight. Early morning lows will get down to 51 degrees. Now, once that fog burns off on Thursday, we'll see partly cloudy skies, but not until later in the day. Afternoon highs around 80. Could see a shower or two for Thursday night, and then for Friday, more sunshine. Afternoon highs 83. From the Cenla Broadcasting Weather Center, I'm Dave Grayson.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYO. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK. Talk back.
All right, we're talking with Ralph Hennessy. He is the executive director at England Air Park. So we did hear that the Transportation Secretary, Sean Duffy, said they'll probably do about a 10% reduction in flights in the coming days just because of the ongoing government shutdown and the impact that has on the air traffic controllers. What kind of impact are you seeing at England right now?
Today, none. However, those reductions are supposed to take effect tomorrow. Mm-hmm. They have asked the airlines to analyze their schedules, and they need to reduce their schedules to accommodate the reductions. So we're waiting to hear back from our station managers with American and Delta, what that impact is going to be to us. Hopefully not much. Again, we're a hub, we're a feeder to, we're a spoke to the hub. So we're a feeder to Atlanta and DFW, and they need our passengers to fill those planes leaving the hubs. We anticipate there's probably going to be some minor changes to us, but the airlines are supposed to notify their passengers, rebook them, et cetera. So we'll know more about that today. Hopefully it's going to be very minimal, but we're just waiting.
I don't know if you have contact with your air traffic controllers, but if so, how is it for them right now?
Like everyone else, you can only go so long before your savings is depleted. But they're coming to work every day. They understand they have a job. Again, most of your satellite stations, there's not a problem. It's these hubs where they have a problem with people calling in sick, and that's an issue that the FAA has to deal with.
So for people that have maybe flights booked the next couple of days, they really just need to pay attention, and you'll let the public know if there are any things they need to know about.
That's correct. We'll certainly post it on our social media if we see that there's going to be any major effects with us. But again, pay attention to your emails and texts from your airline.
Yeah, right. All right. Another topic I want to kind of go in a little bit. I know you're in the midst of a pretty big runway expansion or extension project. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we've got two runways. One is 9,300 feet. The other is 7,000 feet. The shorter runway is getting a 1,500-foot extension that's been in the works for quite some time. The actual construction has only been happening for a little over a year, and that will be completed February, March timeframe. But all the planning that went into it and all, it's been in the works for close to 10 years. After that runway extension takes place, there's going to be some other work off the end of that runway of some surface improvements to the land, and then we're going to work on an instrument landing system for that runway. This is about a $30 million project that came from the FAA, as well as some state dollars that the State Aviation Trust Fund. So again, that funding has been worked on to be put in place over a 3-year period. Other projects we have in the pipeline, we've got a South Apron expansion. It's about a $12 million project that we'll be breaking ground on next month. And that's to make some improvements and expand our south ramp. And that's where all of these ice flights take place. A lot of our other general aviation activity takes place. And then we've got another project to do a North Apron expansion as soon as the South Apron is finished, which is about 2 years from now. That's going to help with expanding the area that the military uses for the ISB, as well as where the hangar is that the Global Crossing, because of Global and the activity that they're going to be bringing in with their fleet, and then some anticipated activity with the military in the future. We're going to go ahead and expand that area also. That's about a $15 million project.
Wow.
The big project too is UCOR. They're moving along over there. Tell us what the latest.
So UCOR, Rare Earth Metal Processing Facility, they anticipate being operational June of 2026. It's a facility that they're moving from Kingston, Ontario, Canada. Will provide about 100 jobs, and it's taking rare earth oxides and making that into a usable product for magnets and other electronic devices that we all use, certainly cell phones and things of that nature. So again, that's about a $150 million project that they're putting up the capital. There's about a $30 million grant that they're getting from the state through LED. There's certain benchmarks that they have to meet in order to get parts of that funding in place. They're bringing in auto part makers and magnet makers to meet with us, meet with other people here in the community, look at the area to try and get some of their downstream users to relocate and build facilities here also. So time will tell.
Could be even more.
That's right.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so that's a big project. And, when you look at kind of the geopolitical things that are happening, it could be a really important project for the country.
Absolutely. This administration certainly has made the rare earth production part of its focal point. Again, 90% of all rare earths are processed over in China. And this has, with the administration's plans, they're wanting to pull as much of that as they can. This one facility is a catalyst for a lot of what you'll see around the country. Their process is different from the way it's handled over in China. It takes the traditional method is 3 to 4 months to process the material into a usable product. Their process cuts it down in 3 to 4 weeks.
Wow.
And so it's a clean process. It's not a dirty process. If you research it online, you'll see that over in China, it is a very dirty process. And from an environmental standpoint, we don't want that over here in the States.
Sure.
And so UCOR has revolutionized this manufacturing process.
Very cool. All right, we need to take another break, and we'll continue with Ralph right after the break.
KSYL. If you're one of the millions of Americans behind on your taxes, if you're afraid to open your mail because IRS collection letters could be coming, listen carefully. The IRS is cracking down, taking paychecks, freezing bank accounts, revoking passports. That's a fact. But here's what most people don't know. There are official tax relief programs designed to help struggling taxpayers. Programs that could save you thousands if you qualify. No one knows these programs better than the experts at Optima Tax Relief. Optima's award-winning team will fight to protect your paycheck, your passport, and your property. Their tax attorneys and licensed tax professionals will work tirelessly to get you the best deal possible with the IRS. Every day, penalties and interest keep piling up, so don't wait. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-783-8055. That's 800-783-8055. 800-783-8055.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Get ready to unwrap the magic of December in Alexandria Pineville. Create wonderful holiday memories with a stroll through the Alexandria Zoo with thousands of lights and whimsical lighted animal figures. Join us at Alex Winterfest, a free festival in downtown Alexandria, packed with fun for all ages, December 4th through 6th. For a complete and detailed list of all the exciting events happening in December, go to explorealexandriapineville.com and visit explorelouisiana.com to plan your trip today.
The Greenhouse presents a dog owner's thank you note. To my dear friend, thank you for your woof and your wagging tail. Thank you for your kisses, your nuzzles, and your cold, wet nose. Thank you for your silly antics that make me laugh out loud. But most of all, thank you for being patient with me, for accepting me as I am, and letting me share your life. I will love you always. Signed, your human. The Greenhouse.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. To take part in the show, call 442-8255. That's 442-TALK back.
All right, we're back with Ralph Hennessy, the Executive Director at England Airpark. It's been a great conversation. We still have time if you want to call in at 318-442-8255 if you have a specific question. When Dick Cheney passed away the other day, it brought back to mind when he visited Alexandria circa 2007, I want to say.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and it was an event at the Bistro on the Bayou, which is now closed, as well as the Park England Hotel. I'm imagining you probably still get a lot of questions about those facilities.
Number one question we get is, when is United returning? The number two question is something related to the hotel. So we're looking at developing the hotel into some type of executive suite apartments. We've looked at a number of options, putting it back in service as a hotel. You know, you have to realize it's a 48-room facility. So in the hotel world, they're looking for minimum 100-room. You know,
yeah,
it's got to make the numbers work for them on a economical basis. This 48-room boutique-style model just doesn't fit today's world. So what do you do with it? So we're looking at in the near future, very near future, putting out an RFP, request for proposal for developers to look at converting that. But we're also looking at putting out an advertisement to try and generate the interest for another hotel to be built out at the airport, so that that there is certainly a place to stay for people on those early morning flights, but also the business community. We have met with some local hotel operators who are interested. They believe there is a market there. It's not as if we're going to be saturating the market from their perspective. So, and with that, it's another business out there, another feather in our cap to improve the air park as well as the region.
I know when you spoke at Rotary, you'd even mentioned maybe turning it more like a dorm facility to support LSUA or NSU.
So we'd been approached by NSU and LSUA both to look at that. And since then, LSUA has gone another route, right? And they've got a facility that's under construction, which I'm happy for them. I think that's where it needs to be. That's where the students are. It makes all the sense in the world. But the Northwestern deal, you have to realize too that we have facilities out there for Northwestern State University. They have a nursing program there, as well as their rad tech program. And so for them, they're still eyeing, looking at it. But they've got some other issues and some other irons in the fire that they're having to focus on. So for them, that's been put on the back burner.
Like for dorms for the NSU campus?
Yeah.
Would they have the students to do that? Not the amount, just the type of students? I'm just
Apparently
curious.
they're the ones that brought it to us.
I got you. Cool.
So apparently there's the need for them.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it's such a nice facility. It's a shame that it's been closed for 10 years at least.
It's been about,
close.
Yeah. Now who owns that? Is it?
We do.
So you guys actually have ownership of it now? Okay.
Yep.
Well, that probably makes it a little easier to do something.
It does, and we're even considering us just doing the conversion ourselves. But again, you've got to find the capital to do that.
Yeah.
And it's always easier if you have other people's money to play with. So if we can find a developer to come in, renovate it, operate it, we just take a percentage of revenue, then it's back in service.
How about the old hospital? What do you do with something like that?
That's a good question. What do you do with something that was built in 1970, 72 that if you walk in there today, it looks like it did when it was built? It's the medical world has changed. It doesn't fit the model today for it being even a clinic. We're trying to figure out options. Do you gut it, renovate it, make it into office space? There's a lot of other office space in town that's empty. So do we want to take on the burden of another white elephant of financing? So
versus, you built the community center. That's a really nice facility. It's very modern. And do you find, is that in quite a bit of demand for people to rent it out?
Yeah, it is. It's cyclical, right? There are certain times of the year where it's booked every weekend and several days a week. And then there are a few times where it's just rented 1 or 2 days a week and then 2 or 3 weekends a month. But that does quite well.
That's pretty cool. Trying to see what else on my list here. Oh, just quality of life things. Of course, you have the golf course, but the loop that you have now.
So we opened up the loop a few months ago. It's a 9-mile loop that we actually have the starting and ending point at the community center. And it's a marked loop around the air park. It goes through the what everyone knows and understands as the air park. But then it wraps around behind the whole west side of the airport. And it just gives people another view of that side of the airport. And then it runs through the ISB and then terminates back at the community center. We've got a lot of great feedback from that. It's used on average 2 to 4 dozen riders a day are out there. A little more on some weekends when the weather's nice. And it's not just for cyclists. There are people out there that are out there jogging and walking on a daily basis. So other things that we're looking at some point, we may look at a disc golf course out there and also pickleball courts. Now, some of this stuff you have to realize it takes money to build these. These are not revenue generators. So before we invest money in something that's a non-revenue generator, we've got some other things higher on the priority list that we want to spend the money on to put back into service.
Yeah. But it's overall just seems like little bit making advancements, and that's really good to see. It's good for the community.
It is.
Sure. For sure. So, all right. Well, we appreciate your time. I know you're a busy guy and a lot that's going on. So, Ralph, just thank you so much for stopping in. Hopefully we can do this a little more frequently. But as I say that, we got a call coming in. So let's take that before we let you go. Good morning. You're on Talkback with Ralph Hennessy.
Yes, sir. Talking about the hospital out there at the base, I was stationed out there and worked in the hospital. And that hospital was built in like 69. It was when it was built, and it at a cost of $1 million per floor. And at the time, it was state of the art. But just some upgrades. It's got for pregnancies and births and stuff. It's got a whole big side of a floor for that, and suites. To me, that'd be a waste to turn it into an administrative building. Plus, it's got all the administrative offices in there already. So I think it'd be a waste to tear it down or to convert it to an office building.
Well, thanks for sharing that. Yes, you're right. It was built from birth to death. But in today's world, the local medical community does not see a need or a desire to be out there. So right now, it's just an empty building.
Sure.
And we're certainly trying to market it and get some use out of it. And we're just looking at other alternatives. If it can't be used for the medical community, what else can we do with it? And that's where we are with it today. It's getting to the point where it needs a new roof. We're going to have to invest a couple $100,000 in that within the next 2 years. And then we're putting a roof on a building that continues to stay empty.
What did y'all end up doing with the Officers Club?
That became the bistro, and when that closed, it's been shuttered since then. And we've done some assessments on that. To convert it into something else is going to be a couple $1 million, even to clean it up and put it back into service as a restaurant. It's going to be over $1 million. So certainly, if private business is willing to make the investment, we're willing to work with private business, just like we did when we contracted with the bistro to be out there. They operated it, we owned it, and then at some point they ceased to operate, and it's been vacant ever since.
I don't know if you know it or not, but when that Officers Club was built, it won a national. They put it up for a national award. It won for outstanding building.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Right. I was out there when they built it.
Very cool. Well, thank you for sharing that history with us.
Yep. Thank you.
Take care. Y'all take care.
Yes, sir. You too. All right, Ralph, we do need to get to a break, so we'll go ahead and let you go. Thank you so much for stopping in today. I was saying earlier, we'd love to have you on more frequently.
I look forward to coming back. Thanks,
All right.
guys.
Sounds good. Ralph Hennessy, Executive Director of England Air Park, our guest here on Talkback.
Talkback is sponsored by The Clinics.
President Trump believes in America. He knows we can do big things. We've done it before, and we'll do it again. That's why Trump is fighting for carbon capture.
When I'm back in the White House, I will bring back a pro-American energy policy at long last. The return of American jobs and the American dream will be powered by the return of American energy.
With carbon capture, Louisiana's oil and gas economy can thrive, creating thousands of good-paying jobs and provide massive local dollars for our schools, roads, and communities.
The American dream will soon be back and thriving like never before.
Trump supports carbon capture because he believes in America and in building a stronger future for Louisiana families. To join President Trump in his fight for American energy, Louisiana jobs, and carbon capture, visit MAGAenergy.la. MAGAenergy.la. Paid for by MAGA Energy Project.
Staples presents An Easy Holiday.
My holiday list was a mile long.
No, boo-hoo-hoo.
Staples made it easy with big savings on tech gifts.
I'm listening.
And I saved big on custom holiday cards, too. Plus, Staples has UPS shipping in-store.
Holy flying reindeer. Shop Staples today for 40% off custom cards, invites, wrapping paper, labels, stamps, and photo gifts.
That was easy.
In-store and online expires 11/15. Exclusions apply. Visit staples.com/print for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm, and Chuck McDowell, definitely not an attorney. This is Chuck. Do you feel stupid for buying a timeshare? Don't. It's not your fault. You were most likely told you could rent it, and it was a great financial investment. And the deal was available today only. If this happened to you, contact your resort or Wesley Financial Group for help today.
Call Wesley now for your free exit information kit. 800-791-1313. 800-791-1313.
For the city. This group loves to compete. This group's not going to back down from anybody.
We bleed.
There's a lot of joy competing with these kids.
Tech Blue.
And I know we're going to fight and scratch and claw to compete for Conference USA Championship.
Join us Saturday. The Dogs are headed to the Northeast to battle the Blue Hens. Our coverage begins at 12:30 on your home for Bulldogs football.
Louisiana Tech football, exclusively in Cenla on 94.7 ESPN.
970 AM, 104.9 FM, KSYL. Now back to Talkback.
All right, we're back. Thanks again to Ralph Hennessy. That was great. Great information. Hopefully you guys learned a lot. I know I did. I always love interviews like that. We have a couple of breaking news stories that are happening this morning. The first, Nancy Pelosi has announced she will not run for Congress again after 40 years. She'll be retiring at the end of her term. Cue the music. Ding dong. No, just kidding.
Oh my God.
But, she'll walk away, I'm sure, with a nice chunk of change. And she can probably have a lucrative career as a stock trader.
I'm sure she won't be hurting financially.
And other news, sad news, Marshawn Nealon, he's a defensive end for the Dallas Cowboys. The team announced this morning that he has passed away. He was their second-round draft choice in 2024, had actually scored a touchdown just the other night in that game against the Cardinals off a blocked punt. But they're saying he passed away, which...
Oh, my God.
They're not saying how or why or anything, just that he's passed away.
Oh, my goodness. Hold up.
I'm sure we'll learn more as the day goes on with that.
I'm checking out my Cowboys journalist here.
Yeah. I hate hearing that with a young person passing away, and you don't want to speculate, but I'm sure we'll find out more later today. On that note,
I don't know. I'm trying to see.
All right. You can post it on your social media later.
I guess so.
Okay, everyone. Have a great Thursday. We'll be back with you again tomorrow. Looking forward to it.